In 2022, Florida opened their $85 million football-only complex that was supposed to be the missing piece. For years, Florida had lagged behind in facilities. That was no longer an issue. Neither was staffing. Florida administrators allowed Billy Napier, the coach they just hired, fresh off a 40-12 run at a group of 5 Louisiana school, to compile one of the largest staffs in college football. Napier ended up going 22-23 over his next 4 seasons as the head man at Florida. So, Florida's new solution this time around? A coach fresh off a 42-11 run at a group of 5 Louisiana school. But for real, why will this time be different? Why is Jon Sumrall the guy? Well, let's watch some film to find out. First thing we gotta understand, Sumrall specializes in defense. He played linebacker at Kentucky. In his stops at the University of San Diego, Tulane, Troy, Ole Miss, and Kentucky, he never had a coaching job on the offensive side of the ball. But he's dang good at building and calling a defense. I'm filming this the Sunday in which Sumrall got hired, and today I watched every single one of his team's sacks and turnovers from this season. What jumps out right away? He's not really a big pressure team. In each of his 2 seasons at Troy, the Trojans finished in the top 10 nationally in scoring defense, allowing just 17.1 points per game in both campaigns. That continued at Tulane, which he only allowed 20.1 points per game in 2024 and 22.8 in 2025. And when I say he's not a big pressure team, it means that he's relying on his front 4 to get pressure. Not necessarily going to blitz a bunch of backers and safeties. Rushing here, twist game, rushing on the edge. This left defensive end is going to get the sack. A lot of twists, which you'll see in these next few twists and stunts in these next few plays. Not getting a 5th or 6th guy in there, just the front 4. Here, again, front 4, and again, twist. Defensive end coming inside, tackle outside, defensive end inside. Getting the sack. They are 36th in the country in sacks, and they are 24th in turnovers. Sorry, that's my attempt at stunting. Here, our twist game. Here. This defensive end on the top of the screen is going to get the sack. Showing you these clips to get you a sense of the identity of what Jon Sumrall wants his defenses to be. Here, this is just old school, just coming right after you. This dude's going to get the sack, edge rush off the outside, and then these 3 guys just coming straight at the offensive lineman blocking him. Same thing on the next one. On one side, if you're a Florida fan watching this, you like that it's not necessarily gimmicky per se, but on the downside of that is I wouldn't necessarily turn on the film and say, oh, wow, they're bringing a bunch to the park, or this is really exotic schemes or things of that nature. This is really just trusting your guys to go out and make plays. That being said, when they do decide to bring pressure, it's a lot of single dog blitzes, meaning they're just bringing one linebacker from depth. I don't know if I saw a single pressure in this whole package of a safety or a corner blitzing. And very rarely do you see 2 linebackers. It's one linebacker. Right here, you're getting this guy off the edge. It's going to force Tulsa to throw a interception on this one. Sails it, picked off. Sumrall defense is rolling. Here, this is a hell of a play by this free safety. He's going to be in man-free coverage, and he jumps this over route by the receiver coming on this side. But pressure-wise, like I told you guys, single dog backers, it's going to be this backer from depth. He actually might be a safety now that I said that. I believe it's that backer. Hopefully I pictured the right guy. Nope, sorry, I knew that was against what I said. It's this backer. Shifts over. He's coming on the snap of the ball. Then look at that middle field free safety. Jumps this over route, gets the interception, bringing one backer, your secondary getting it done. Then here again, this backer from depth, he's blitzing. He's going to be the 5th defender coming after the quarterback. Gets pressure, another sack for Jon Sumrall's squad. And then last but not least, just to drive the point home, another pressure, another sack, just one backer blitzing. Again, I wouldn't say they're vanilla coverage-wise, but if I'm an opposing quarterback, I'm not necessarily saying, oh, this is some exotic pressure package that I have to be prepared for. I'm less concerned with Sumrall continuing his trend of building great defenses, with really the only variable changing is increased resources. The more interesting question for Florida fans is, can he build an offense? Pete Nakos of On3, he reported this morning that Sumrall said, one of my first priorities will be to assemble an incredible staff, including an offensive coordinator who understands that at Florida, having an explosive offense isn't optional, it's mandatory. For the last 4 years, the man Sumrall's gone to for that has been Joe Craddock. Craddock, not really sure. I'm going with Craddock. Craddock was 29 when SMU hired him as the youngest offensive coordinator in college football in 2014. He put up numbers there before becoming the youngest OC in the SEC at Arkansas. That stint with the Razorbacks didn't go according to plan, but he rebounded when he teamed up with Sumrall. Hey, real quick, if you're enjoying this video, please hit the subscribe button down below. Helps the channel out a bunch. Enjoy the video. I went back today and watched every touchdown that Darian Mensah threw in 2024 and every touchdown that Jake Retzlaff threw this year to try to find some themes. And one thing's clear. This offense, like most offenses in college football, is a blend of different types of schemes, trying to take the best from pro style, best from air raid, best from spread. But it definitely leans more pro style than, say, the Lane Kiffin breakdown you might have just watched from me, where Kiffin's much more Art Briles spread. It's not in the family of like a Ben Arbuckle with Jon Napier, quarterback run game, RPO, that kind of nature. When they're scoring touchdowns, it's a lot of pro style passing concepts. And for Mensah, it was a lot of deep overs, play action and deep overs. They're going to have deep post here, deep post here. This guy's in motion and he's a wheel down the sideline. These two receivers on the inside, they lose spacing right here. This guy's going to break inside and ultimately catch a touchdown. But the goal is to try to do, 3 verticals up, 2 deep posts and a wheel behind him. And luckily for Mensah, his receiver makes a play. But it has that feel of a deep over like the next 4 plays will. He's had some athletes too. Had Mario Williams a couple years ago. I covered him at USC. He's an athletic dude. This one under center play action. You're not really getting under center with Lane Kiffin and Trinidad Chambliss, but it's going to be a play action here. Then you got an over route. This dude ultimately is going to catch the touchdown. And then you got a tight end who motioned over. And he motioned over and he's going to be into the flat. But this receiver on the top of the screen working right to left after a big play action fake, he's ultimately the guy that gets open. So again, much more of a pro style flair. Honestly, it's similar to what Florida and DJ Lagway had last year. So maybe that's Sumrall's pitch to Lagway, assuming he wants to keep him, is, hey, it's much of the same from what you did a year ago. I mentioned Mario Williams, their star slot receiver, transfer from Oklahoma by way of USC to Tulane. He was their explosive guy 2 years ago. Here, you got him on just a deep over across the field. He's rubbing off, he is working off the other receiver, going vertical towards the other side of the field. Again, pistol formation, big play action. The weapon for Tulane ultimately getting open. And this, who were they playing in this game? Who were they playing? I forget. But the reason I say that is in this game, once again, they come back and run the exact same play, which is kind of noteworthy because literally when I was watching all 25 of Darian Mensah's touchdowns, outside of just like slide routes into the flat by the goal line, Mensah really didn't throw a touchdown route on this, or a touchdown pass on the same concept really all year outside of this one example where, again, it's going to be over route here, play action in the backfield, and then you're going to try to get your man Mario Williams working right to left on a touchdown grab. Again, delay, using the play action, forcing these safeties to communicate. That's tough to defend. And then this one right here was my favorite design of them all, in which you're going to have all 4 playmakers involved. See this tight end motion and down, and then you got double post on the bottom of the screen, post. Then you got a little shallow route by one tight end, and then a deep over again by the second tight end, the guy with the hand in his dirt. That tight end's the guy who's going to catch this rock. And what do you know? The theme, play action, deep overs from this Tulane offense. So if I'm Florida and I got a speedy slot receiver, I'm showing him this YouTube video to say, this is how I get you the rock. If I have a speedster, take the top off the defense kind of guy, I'm showing him this film to say, hey, I got deep posts coming over the top as well. And that's what jumps out about Jake Retzlaff. And I'm not just handpicking the film that just helps support this point. No, when you watch Retzlaff's touchdowns, which he has 17 this year, 6 of them, as we're going to see, 1, 2, 3, only 4, but there's a 5th one that I didn't include just for time's sake, is literally pistol, play action, deep post down the field. Check it out here. You're going to have, again, a tight end on an over, receiver on an over, but then this is the money route on the bottom of the screen. Deep post, Retzlaff play action in the backfield. He's going to hit that deep post for a touchdown. What's intriguing to me is, I don't know if this is just hey, this is Craddock's identity, if this is just what Retzlaff does really well. Is this the talent you had on the team and you love take the top off the defense receivers? That's what's interesting, where obviously great offensive coordinators adapt to the playmakers that they have. Second play, again, you're having tight end motions over. This tight end's on an over. This receiver's on a post. And then again, deep post, bottom of the screen. Retzlaff bombs away. Good thing Tulane got him in the portal. Oh, how important it is to get yourself a quarterback if you want to keep getting bigger jobs. Ask Fran Brown at Syracuse if Steve Angeli stayed healthy. Maybe Fran Brown ends up being Penn State's head coach or something. Again, here we go. We got another deep post over the top. You got here, he's beating his man over the top. He's the winner for a touchdown. Top of the screen, you got a curl and then an arrow route. Different kind of concept. But what do you know? Again, deep post over the top. Florida Gators, get used to this. Get yourself a receiver who's a speedster. No shortage of speed in the state of Florida that can take the top off the defense, win one-on-one matchups like this, and then get yourself a little speedy slot receiver as well. And then last one for good measure. Again, this is all Jake Retzlaff from this season. You're going to have this receiver motion in. He's got an over route, tight end into the flat, and then this dude's the winner on a deep post. Defenders got no shot. Tulane had some speed now. Tulane had some speed, also had some good quarterbacks. Mensa's no joke. Maybe he can win himself an ACC title this week, but you guys get the point. That's who Craddock wants to be. More of that pro-style nature that you don't always see with every offensive coordinator nowadays. I don't see anything in that film that won't translate to the SEC, but you need some talent to run those concepts. But I can't deny that I'm seeing some crazy names that Craddock would be competing with for this job. David Caldwell, an Eagles front office exec in the Howie Roseman tree, just got hired as Florida's GM. David Caldwell and Brian Dable were high school teammates. I'm seeing him. I'm seeing Chip Kelly. I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Walsh's ghost is somewhere on the message boards. But that's not the reason I made this video. I made this video so you have a little bit better understanding about what Jon Sumrall brings to the table. He's a good coach schematically. He's great at finding an OC to team up with, and we didn't even get into culture building. But for right now, there's a lot for Gator fans to be excited about.